do animation, you want to do mono acting, you want to do the film that we saw just now in this way. We don't want, like for example, Paris was kind of distributed to the 14 arrondissements, the 14 districts of Paris. We may not do that. We might go back into history, we might go back into the future, whatever it is. So let our minds really let loose on Chennai as a concept. Now it's also because Chennai also boasts of a variety of ethnic stroke linguistic diversity. The language of the film should be the writer's preference. We are not telling you that you've got to make it in this language or that language. This Chennai. Chennai speaks many languages, and it's a fantastic history of languages that's happening here.
Including French.
Including French, exactly. Absolutely, the French will here too. Yes. So, what we need to do is that the rules are very simple. The participants will need to submit a single-page concept note to the RKFI panel. They may choose to write alone or in collaboration with other participants. You did not write it alone, that's what I'm trying to say. 4 of you want to get together and jointly write it, go ahead. The panel will select this from about the best 60 concepts out of all that we receive, the best 60 concepts, and request the participant to work out the 10-page screenplay from on that basis. The 30 chosen screenplay writers from the above will be asked to come to Trivandrum. This is our plan. We are hoping that the Trivandrum Film Festival will work with us on this. Come to Trivandrum a few days prior to the International Film Festival, where the mentoring process will actually begin. To fine-tune it for 2 reasons. 1, to get the clarity on the screenplay, and 2, to also start linking it with scheduling and budgeting. That's very important. How does the screenplay writer actually become conscious of? Well, we don't want to do that now. But after that, you've got to start becoming conscious of how does this schedule? How many scenes does it? How does it spread around? How much does it cost? These chosen screenplays will be then sent to a panel of well-known directors and actors for further development. So, all those people who came that day for our screenwriting workshop have all volunteered to direct these films. So, depending on their choice, depending on their flavor, they look at the scripts and say, I would like to direct this, I would like to act in this. So we'll be sending it to them. And hopefully, if all goes well, we should go on floors by March 2010. That is our deadline. Because this gets over in December, early December. The Trivandrum Festival mentoring will start. By March 2010, we should hopefully go on floor. The weather will be nice. And, we should not be too hot at that time. It won't be raining too much, so we can start off at that time. And writers will be requested to come on location. I'm borrowing a phrase from Mr. Carriere, to see their works transform into butterflies. So if your scripts are as good as wonderful caterpillars, you should see wonderful butterflies emerging from that. So with these words, I will ask Mr. Kamal Haasan to say a few words and then introduce Mr. Carriere. Thank you.
I take great pleasure in welcoming my young friend, Mr. Carriere, and he stayed that way for quite some time as I've known him. That itself is quite a long time now. And this is a little dream we had in Madras, in a hotel, where a lot of mosquitoes were biting us, and we had more stories to feed each other, and the mosquitoes were feeding on us. Mr. Abbas Kiarostami was there, and we were talking about a workshop. It was, they had great ideas, bigger ideas, and I tried to sort of sculpt it down to a palpable size, which is what we are doing now. And that workshop, what we did was just the beginning, as I told you, tip of the iceberg. So we're going forward. We're still formulating and finding great ideas and stumble blocks and all those things. The reason why Mr. Carriere is here is to encourage us on an untrodden path, at least in Tamil Nadu. It's never been done here. Bombay has tried to do something. I'm trying to take this people forward, not to lead, not to lag behind, probably walk along, to quote Kamath. So I'll be there, we'll be there, and the idea is to get the short film moving, short film movement moving in Tamil Nadu. We're going to talk to. We are not even very faithful or concerned about the format in which we are going to do it. We'll still discuss that. We'll discuss it with experts, and the possible platforms on which we are going to go will decide what kind of format we'll be going into. We'll also try to encompass all available formats and try to take these films to that. It's not a purely business venture, but why not? We'll have to take it to that direction. And when we are talking about budgeting and scheduling, it's not only for the safety of this group, but also for the practice of this group. Because 10 minutes is just, again, the tip of the iceberg. When you write a full feature film, it's going to be 20 times as difficult. Because so many parameters, so many things. He'll tell you about a separate breed called producers. I've been there also. So I've worn that hat also. So all that will come into play, and you must be prepared when you really go for a feature film. So it's not an institute, it's a movement. You must understand it. And it's been done before in the world. It's not the first time it's happening in the world. But we'll believe and behave as if it's the first thing ever in the world. That'll make us feel strong. Now I'll leave you to Mr. Carriere. He'll have a lot of things to say. And we just during conversation we found a short film which he would like to see with you even before the distinct charms of the bourgeois. Yes. And one little story that links him and me is the way the way we met. I went to him to ask for advice about Marthanayakam and who should write, because I know of his fame, and I thought I'll take his advice so that he could suggest an affordable young French writer. He not only suggested a very young name, but also a very affordable person who did it for the love of it. His name was Jean Claude Carriere. He introduced himself and became part of Marthanayakam, which according to me is still a viable project. And that's how I met him. I had the honor, pleasure of working with him for a month on a script, on the French side of that script. And I think... And in London too, not in Paris. We spent nearly 3 weeks in London. Those are days I'll never forget. That is the time I had lost Mr. Anand to natural causes like death. And I was missing him a lot, and that's when I found him. And it was like rediscovering the learning process for me. And so it continues on to Mr. Carriere. Thank you.